Right then, here we go. You're going to get the raw and uncut version. I'm not here to condone the distribution of drugs. That's not what this is about. Right then, here we go. You're going to get the raw and uncut version. This is my first YouTube. So I want to keep this natural. I'm going to edit it as little as I can. And the first one, by suggestion, one of the guys, one of the earlier ones, was, why don't I talk about the first time I was robbed? It was the first and only time I was robbed, so we're going to do that. So I'm currently sat outside what used to be my flat. I used to live in this area. We're in Bristol. I'm in an area called Brislington. I'm looking forward there. I don't know whose car that is, disregard that number plate. You're gonna get close up of me. This is gonna be how it is. I'm gonna take you on a little journey. I'm gonna try and set the scene whilst we're on our way. If I have to control the video, I'll pull over and adjust that for any of the people there thinking that I'm operating a video whilst I'm driving. I'll have to cut that out. Very polite, very pleasant chap letting me out there. Right, so basically, I want to set a scene for you. We're going back to 1998, early 98, and the fucking problems we had, there was a drought with ecstasy. Now, I was dealing in the clubs at the time. Now, I wasn't involved in coke, although I was having a little dabble every now and again. It wasn't my thing. I had a half decent pill sales thing going on. Wasn't really interested in much more than what was going on, but there was always the opportunity to get to hit on something big every now and again. So we've been struggling since '97 to get anything decent in, and it was all rough stuff. None of it was any good. It was all trippy. It was maybe laced with cat, maybe a different kind of chemical composition of MDMA. There's people out there who will understand the complexity of that, will maybe be able to make a comment and say, yeah, it was this or it was that. But the fact is that what we were getting wasn't making me feel loved up. It was different. It was dirty. It was something else. So we were all desperately trying to stop swearing. I have to stop swearing. YouTube is going to pull this. Yeah. So basically, we're trying to find out. We're trying to find an option where we can score some decent pills. So you've got your figures out all the time. Now, we had an arrangement with these guys down in Exeter, or near Exeter, shall I say. They were in Exeter. And for anyone who knows, and I've mentioned this on my TikToks, Exeter is the gateway to the south. It is the gateway to the south. It's we're just going over a little flyover, just showing you that area in front on the right is called Barton Hill in Bristol. I've done some bits in there. And this is looking over towards, not the city centre, but it's certainly central Bristol. I'm not doing that on the move, I edited that. So yeah, we've got this deal going with these guys down near Exeter. And they're buying multiple thousands of pills at a time. These are our biggest customer. We've been doing something with these guys for about 6 months. And when I say we, at that time during my business, I had a business partner, someone that I served in the forces with. I'm not going to give his name, because that's not the done thing. But we had a deal going on, and these guys were potentially going to lift us, to elevate us and maybe increase our buying power, which is what we wanted. Those of you can see there is a police car to my rear left. That'll be interesting to see where this goes. Heart. Told you this would be great on YouTube live, me getting pulled and commentating on a video, which I'm pretty sure I'm okay to do this, but wait and see. Paranoia kicks in as you wonder, are they going to pull me? Who knows? I might have to I've got to stop swearing. I'll edit this bit out. So anyway, we had this arrangement with these guys, and they could have elevated our buying power somewhat. So to basically bring the cost of our pills down. If I'm suddenly going from buying 200 or 300 pills a week, which is what I was doing, to buying maybe 2,000 or 3,000, you know, you bolt your order onto that. So I can have 1,500, please, mate. All of a sudden you're stepping up a league, aren't you? So there were risks. The risks are elevated. So this drought was causing significant problems, and you get the opportunity where every now and again you might have someone come and say, "Oh, we've got an option. We can get you some pills from these guys or those guys." And most of the time it's just noise. It's just rubbish. Nothing comes from it. But we had this one contact through some lads that we had an arrangement with in this club. When I used to sell in this club, me and my partner, there were a couple more lads were selling as well. It wasn't ever rivalry, it was just the way it goes. And they saw that we were kind of monopolised on it slightly, and we came to an arrangement that they would refer all of their customers to us if we could do them a deal on their pills, which was perfect for us because we got to pick up more customers in the clubs, and they didn't have the stress of having to sell them. They just enjoyed their night out. So these guys had a couple of friends in the industry, and they basically came to us and said, "Look, we know someone might be able to get you sorted out with some pills." And we thought, "Oh, this is good news. We'll have a look at that." So we set up a meeting up for a Saturday evening, and I'm going to say it was probably early spring 1998. I'm not completely sure. I don't think that's for me. Just going to show you some. Packhorse Inn, fantastic place there, run by the Hells Angels of Bristol. Great pub, great restaurant, great tattoo parlour. So anything needed in there, they cover everything. So anyway, these guys have come to us. So look, we've got on in. We might be able to find some pills. So we had this arrangement with these guys down in Exeter, and what they'd done is they'd forwarded us some cash on the hope that at some point, if something comes in, we've got the DOS sat there ready and waiting to go and make the purchase straight away, rather than messing around having to send, you know, a driver down to them or them send someone up to us with the money and miss the opportunity. So they basically advanced 10 grand to us, and back then for me that was like, whoa, that's a lot of money. You know, it was a lot of cash to be sat on, and it was moving us up the ladder a little bit. So we had this cash to spend, and this opportunity came up. These guys said, we've got a link, we can find you something. I said, great, let's set it up then. So these guys introduced us to their friend. Okay, that's fine. You know, never met the guy before, but I took it on face value. He'll do. And then we had to go out to meet in a place called Fish Ponds, which is where we're heading for now. Fish Ponds in Bristol. It's a nondescript place. There's nothing necessarily special or bad about it, which is probably why it was used for what it was used for. So we had to go meet at this house. So I had to meet this other lad first. He got in the car with me. He sat down. He took the passenger seat, and I'll tell you the car was, because this bears relevance at some point. A few months previously, I finally managed to get one of my dream cars at the time, and that was an RS Cosworth. Loved it. I'll say no more. It was my dream car. I'll leave it at that for now. Okay, so he joined me in my car, and we took a trip together up to Fish Ponds, just me and him, and we were on the route, same as we are now, taking this journey. And I was saying, look, what's the situation? He said, well, his mate, and I give the guy's name because it's right, a chap called Ben, knew someone that had some pills, and we thought, right, okay, that'll do. Let's go on that. And this is where you get your extended trust. So I trusted the guys in the club, these two lads that were doing their thing. I trusted them because we had this arrangement in place. They trusted this guy that they'd introduced me to, and then this guy trusted his mate that was linking us in with this person with the pills. The trouble is with that trust is how do you define that level of trust? You know, how do you define that? How do you know that his trust is as strict as my trust? You know, my trust means fucking dying for someone. That's where my trust is. That's the level of trust from being in the forces. That's the level of trust I'm talking about. Is his the same? Or does he trust him because he looked nice? or they've got lots of money, so he trusts them because he must be all right? Or is he going on someone else's word that he's just presuming it's going to be trust? Or is he just trusting the fact that it's going to go okay and he's going to get a little drink out of it? So that whole element of trust, when you're going through a meeting or an introduction and you've got to involve me, him, his mate and someone else, that's 5 people in one link you have to trust to do a deal. That's 5 introductions, and the way I see that trust gets watered down. It's watered down to the point where who the fuck is actually doing the deal at the other end? Who is he? I don't know who he is. So we're coming on to what's known as Fish Ponds Road now, and it's just a main road that drags up through the area, and excuse the road conditions, and you have to now paint this scene. It's Saturday evening. It's about 6 o'clock, yeah, for argument's sake. And I've got my partner in crime sat back at where we live in the flats where we just left. He lived next door to me. That's a whole new story. And he's got customers badgering him for pills. So how are we getting on a Saturday night? Any news, mate? The phone's going, it's ringing off the hook. It's fucking relentless on a Saturday night. Back then, bear in mind, this is the 90s, in the heyday of the rave scene. It was bonkers. Your phone wouldn't stop ringing on a Friday or Thursday, Friday and a Saturday. It'd be going nuts. So he's trying to fend off these customers as best he can. Because I said, look, you take all the calls, I'll try and manage as best I can. So he's got people giving him, bugging him constantly. I'm on the way to do this deal, and I'm confident because of my military background, but at the same time I'm thinking, I don't know what the fuck this is, what's going on. It's a first for me. I've not actually been in that situation before. I've not been in the situation where it's that sketchy, if that makes any sense. So I was understandably quite wary about what was going on, and the guy that was my introduction, I think he was equally wary, so I don't think he was really too sure what he was going into either, and the other guy, this guy Ben, the link between them, I didn't know him, so we're all, it's getting quite tense. You can feel the tensions kind of building because you're very unsure. And the truth is, when you've got 10 grand's worth of cash on you and you've been told you're getting these things for I think they said like £2.50 each, and we're looking to get 3, maybe 4,000, you're thinking, I've got 10 grand, I can't even say it, 10 grand here, of someone else's money. They're going into a deal and I don't know really who these people are. So this is all kind of adding up to the whole sketchiness of the thing. So we're Saturday evening, 6 o'clock-ish, heading up in towards Fish Ponds, and we're going to a home address. I've never been there before, but a home address can be a good thing in some respect, because you're not doing a deal out in public, and when there's cash changing hands, if someone's taking their cash, you want to make sure it's correct, you want to make sure it's right, you want to make sure it's not fucking funny money in any way. So going into a house ain't necessarily a bad thing, but a first contact meeting is always going to be like fucking, how can I describe it, like a shootout at dawn, like the High Corral. You're in there, I'm not saying with guns, but the phrase guns are ready, you're kind of thinking, is it going to go off, is it not going to go off, what's going to happen? So you've already got this kind of standoffish kind of approach to you, and that you could pick up on that. If someone's got an intention of doing something wrong, they're going to judge you by their standards, aren't they? They're going to presume you're going to try and do something wrong to them, so they're probably, not saying they are, but probably they're going to be armed in some way, or at least they're going to be ready to defend themselves or attack, depending on the state of mind. Right, closing on the area. So right, Saturday night, everyone's ringing the phones, it's going absolute chaos. My business partner is trying to fend everyone off as best he can. I'm sat with this guy who's fucking shitting himself because he just looks nervous. I don't know why, but he just does. It's never good fun, is it? So Yeah, so this guy looks nervous, he's worried. And he's clearly never been to this address because this is back in the days of A to Z, no sat navs, we're looking on an A to Z map. So we find the address, it's on this road here. Yeah, this is the one. This is the one. Right, so I'm going to pull up in a bit. So down on the right, we've got a few houses, yeah? You see a tree in the distance? It's just down there. I'm not going to tell you which house it is, so I'm going to go slightly past it. Right, all I can say is it's in this row on my right. That's all I can do. I can't give the house away because it may be occupied now, or it will be occupied, but it could be occupied by someone completely different, someone totally oblivious to what's going on. So that's not really, it's not really good sport, is it, for me to give out their address? So anyway, so we pull up, me and this guy, we get out of the car. I leave the money in the car, obviously. There's no fucking well I'm taking that dosh with me in there, no chance. We don't know where we're going in. We go up to the door. He knocks on the door. His mate answers, this guy, Ben. Tall, young lad. He wasn't old. I was 28 at the time, just turned 28. This guy was probably in his early 20s, maybe 21, maybe younger than that again. The guy I was with, he was in his mid-20s. Not that that was relevant, but the younger people are, the less time they've been in that business. I mean, I'd only been in it for 2 and a bit years at the time. So we walked into this house, immediately greeted by someone else. There's no music, it's quiet, there's no atmosphere in the house. He walks up, and to describe him, about my height, say about 6 foot, not a big built guy. He's got a little, like a sort of dread coming down the front with what looks like a diamond in it. That's the distinguishing feature about him, was this one single dread coming down, twisted with a diamond in it. I know the cunt's name. I'm not going to give it away. That's not the way I am, but I almost gave his name away then, but I'm not going to. So he walked in and he straight away said, "Oh, do you want to smoke?" And he offered me a joint. And I thought, oh, I'm quite partial to a little bit of green. I said, "Oh, what is it, mate?" In the sense of referring to is it green? Is it solids? For those who don't know, green is skunk, solids is cannabis resin. He said, "Oh, it's crack." I said, "No, you're okay, mate. Fucking keep it. Not interested." That should have been my first red flag. Should have been the first red flag. He's offering crack. He says, "Oh, please come in, take a seat." So we walked to this house and we walked left into the lounge, and it's sparse. There's fuck all in there. There's a couple of sofas. It's not even a telly, and I'm thinking, if they live in a very simplistic way. The guy I'm with is just looking around trying to take it all. I'm just gone into squatty mode, assessing everything, looking at the place. I can't see nothing going on. There's no noise. I can't hear any footsteps, anyone upstairs. I've not got the cash on me, but they know, or at least the guy that is doing the deal, the guy with the diamond, he knows that I've got cash because he knows it's a cash deal. So he says, he came back in and he sat down in front of me on another sofa and he's smoking this crack in a joint. So I didn't, whether that's right or wrong, I don't know. I guess you can. I said, "Have you got the money?" I said, "No, I haven't got the money." I said, "I can get the money. I don't have it on me." He said, "Well, can I see the money?" I said, "Well, can I see the pills?" And we had this little standoff thing it seemed like a very long time. It's probably just for a few seconds. And this guy, Ben, stood there, and he's kind of stood in the middle, so you can see he's not taking in any particular side. He's just a fucking idiot that's got caught up in this. And the other guy next to me, the guy that's my introduction, he's the same. They're just sat there now. They're spare parts. Their role has been played. They've done their bit. They've made the introduction, or they're still part of this fucking conspiracy. And me and this other guy said, "Well, no, I ain't got the money on me. Show me the pills. Show me at least a sample of the pills." So he went upstairs, came back down in a little tiny bag, and in there was about, hazard a guess, 10 or 15. I thought, well, I'm here to buy a whole lot more than 10 or 15. And he says, "Well, look, this is what you're going to be getting." And this is now another red flag should have raised, but at the time, pictured the fact that all these guys in town are waiting. They're waiting for their pills. There's dozens of people, maybe hundreds of people sat there waiting on the Saturday night, counting on me to go and get their ecstasy. And I'm thinking, all right, okay, he said, "Can I just see the money?" I said, "I'll tell you what, I'll let you look at the money so you know it's there. an extension of trust on my part. You can see the dosh. I'm not letting out my hands though. He said, well, can I count it? I said, no, you can't count it. I said, you can count it when the deal's done. So I thought, right, fair enough. So I went out to the car, got the carrier bag, Moody carrier bag. That's how it was done those days. This is before my days of doing it properly. And then there was 10 grand. It was bundled in £1,000 bundles. I wasn't into the £100 thing. And I went in, I opened the bag, he looked at it, he said, and he looked up and he looked at me and you could see his little fucking eyes lit up straight away. And he thought, yeah, the cash is real. So I took the cash back, made sure he couldn't get his hands on it, went back out to my car, put it in the car, locked the car up again, my lovely shiny Cosworth, which will come into play. And I said, where's the pills, mate? He said, they're not at this house, they're somewhere else. Oh, for fuck's sake, it's a fucking runaround now. So where are they? Well, they're down in town. We've just driven out of town, mind. Fucking dick. So now we said, well, we'll go and get them then. So no, we'll go and collect them. He said, so you're fucking me around. All right. And of course, I'm thinking, got pressure now. Do I make a decision and say, blow this thing out of the water, say, no, fuck it off, nothing's going to happen? Or do I just go with it? So, all right, no, fuck it, let's take a drive to town. So I went with the latter, foolishly. So I said to my guy, I said, come on, let's fuck off down to town. So this guy, Ben, got in the car with the fucking dickhead with the diamond, and we followed them. So we've left the house. The money is securely underneath my seat. You know, it's the easiest place I can put it. And I got to say, there's a few things I've said on TikTok about how this played out roughly, and after being back at that location, I've remembered a few slightly different things about it. And the weirdest thing is when I won't say it, I'll tell you when in the time. Right, so bear in mind all this is fucking new. This wasn't here when I was there last time. So anyway, we're now following this car. I can't even remember what car it was. It was definitely a bit older. But this chap with the fucking diamond in his hair has clearly seen me in this fucking lovely shiny Cosworth, because it was my pride and joy. And he's thought, right, this guy's obviously got dough, you know. So he's rubbing his hands all the way now. He's thinking, great, we're gonna monopolise on this fucker here. Me, I'm just still trying to fend off fucking phone calls from my business partner, who's trying to fend off a lot more phone calls from all the customers, because now we're up to like 7, half 7, and no one's been served up yet. So people are getting desperate, you know. And what you got to remember is this is during a serious drought. There is no ecstasy around, so people are just trying to bring anyone. And the first main dealer that lands any decent fucking pills after a drought, you're going to pick up a whole load of new customers. It's going to be a lot of people. You're going to, not intentionally, but the way that it goes through good business, you're going to pick up extra customers, and you're going to make from it. You're going to do really well. Let's pretend this car is the dick with the fucking diamond in his hair, yeah. So the first person that actually lands any decent pills after a drought, they're gonna milk it. They're gonna smash it and pick up new customers if their source is good. But they only have a little window to do this, because once they land in one place, they generally land all over the place. And you might get 1 week where someone's been lucky and they say, right, I'll take the fucking lot, and they'll even pay more for it. You know, it's just how it goes. So we're now taking a drive back down towards central Bristol. All right, I might have to edit a part of this journey out depending on the traffic, but I'll try and tell you what's happening. So myself and this guy, I'm now questioning the guy that's with me in the car about the validity of this deal, you know. Basically, not in polite terms, saying, what the fuck's going on, mate? This is a fucking runaround. And he's kind of like thinking, oh, well, don't know, mate. I don't know, mate. Yeah, lots of I don't know, mate. So I said, well, who the fuck's this Ben? You know, who the fuck's this guy with the fucking thing? He's clearly a crackhead. You know, I don't mean this disrespectfully to anyone who's unfortunately getting tired of being crap, but you'll understand more than others that life isn't simple, is it, when you're involved in that world, and it's about feeding an addiction, and that's unfortunately how it goes. You know, so I'm 50-50 on this deal at the minute. I'm thinking, part of me says, well, it ain't my money, it's no good. So we'd established from this guy prior to leaving, I said, where are we going, mate? And he said, St. Werburgh's. Never heard of it. Where's fucking St. Werburgh's? And he said, well, just follow me. You know, so I'm kind of handily using my surveillance techniques to follow him. Not that I needed to, but it was quite good fun pretending I was. And for those of you who don't know the geography of Bristol, St. Werburgh's is a little tiny, I don't know what to call it, a name of a district, if you like, in Bristol, next to St. Paul's, which is quite renowned for being, used to be, it's actually getting a lot better now. There were riots back in the 70s and 80s. It's always known for being a little bit rough, you know, a little bit problematic for drugs. There are hostels in the area. There are, you know, it's a lot of police activity because there's a lot of other activity going on. So it's not the best place to be driving around on a Saturday evening between 7 and 8 o'clock in a Cosworth full of fucking dosh. You know, it's probably not the best thing to do. So add that into the equation, okay? So you've got this breakdown in trust, which is already beginning to manifest itself with the way this meeting is going ahead. And this isn't standard. This is sometimes how you can get reeled in. I've got the pressure from these boys down in Exeter saying, yeah, get it, buy. I've got the pressure from my business partner saying he's getting fucking headaches from all these customers. We need to get these things sorted out as soon as possible. And I'm trying to weigh up whether this is worthwhile or not. I'm trying to weigh up, so do I let everyone down and save face, or do I run the risk? Do I roll the dice to see where it goes? So it was a case of rolling the dice to see where it goes. I'd been given the go-ahead by the lads whose money it was to go and further investigate, if you like, to go and have a look at the bill, see where we go. So that was the intention, to drive down there and pick up these, let's say, 4,000 pills for argument's sake. You know, we'll see. So we've had a phone call from the guys on this journey down from Fish Ponds to where we're going now, and they said, confirm the price, which was £2.50 each. So okay, just get 3,000. Just get 3,000 for now, which is £7.5 grand. So I said to, I nearly give his name away. I said to the guy that's next to me, I said, mate, take this bag. So I poured out a bag of money, and we're more or less where we are now. I said, yank out £2.5 grand out of that and stick it safe in the glove compartment. Stick it out of the way. Because we're new, and I don't want to be going in with too much money. I just want to go with the right money, get the deal done. So he said, yeah, okay. So I give him this bag of money, and he's just counting out one bundle, two bundle, and counted 500 quid out of the one, and he tucked the £2.5 grand safe in the glove compartment, and he's got the other £7.5 grand safe down by his feet. Well, that's good. All right, happy days. So that's dealt with, you know. So we now know that there's £2.5 grand left, £7.5 grand in the bag. Let's go from there. So we're getting closer now. So we're coming onto the M32 in Bristol. This is through an area called Eastville. Big Tesco extra on the right, not the one in the book, but this one's fucking hot as fuck. There's rife people come down the motorway, all meet at Tesco's. No, you won't, mate. It's fucking dodgy as hell down there. So looking ahead, this is the main motorway into Bristol, and we're gonna stay on the off slip road, and we're gonna come into the area of St. Werburgh's shortly. I'm coming in from a slightly different direction, and again, this road, I've not been down on this road since it all fucking happened, you know, so I might take a few moments to find the right road. So if I end up cutting it, you'll know why, because I can't fucking find the place. Right, so we're just coming off now, and we're going to drop down into St. Werburgh's. So now we're following this car, and bear in mind, this was in early '98, so the road layout has changed quite significantly, so it's not going to be totally spot on. So again, the phones are, it's just, I'm trying to find a moment of peacefulness to try and focus on what's going on with the madness of the phone. And anyone who's been involved in that world, you know what it's like, the pressure of people saying, oh, are we there yet, are we ready yet? And it's just constantly going on, and you know, by this time people are just literally putting their aftershave on and putting the perfume on, and ordering a taxi into town and they're going out with nothing, with no goods, nothing on them. So my hypervigilance is beginning to spike now. I know I'm getting close. We're closing in on a residential location or somewhere like that, and the area is giving me concerns. You know, this is a first for me. You know, I'm stepping into something which is new with someone else's money and all the pressure and everything that's going on, and every alarm bell for me is saying, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, Rich. It's going to come unstuck. Just for argument's sake, those who've read my book, the houses on my left and the street to my left is where Alfie lived. I'll come into that another time maybe. So this isn't the way we came into the road. This has changed. So you can see on the left there's loads of new buildings. This used to be a dry cleaning place. Alright, so now we're coming into the area. We're getting closer. The houses, if you look down, there's like a peach coloured house in front, sort of half on the right side of the road. These are the houses, okay? So I'm pretty sure that the ones where the problem was, sorry, it's not all new, but they've changed the road layout. Ah yes, I remember it well. Okay, so we came down here, we followed the guy down, left down here, Summers Terrace, that's the one, there it is. Right, so see those red brick houses in front? It's one of those, right? I'm not going to give anything away, I'm going to go down. At the time, I pulled over on the curb on the left, here. Okay, I was going to turn around and come back out, so I'm going to pull over here. So when I parked over on the right hand side, it looks like it's like a fucking community hall or something. I don't remember that, but the houses were on the left. So he pulled over in front of me where this Mercedes is. He got out of his car and went into one of these two doors on the left hand side. I'm not going to say what it is, one of these houses on the left. He went in. The other guy, Ben, stayed in his car, and the guy went to the house briefly. I don't know if I can't remember if he knocked or whether he had a key, but the door opened up pretty quickly, and he was in there for a few seconds, and as he walked back out towards the car, and the guy that had the dosh, he had the dosh in his hands, in his lap, and he walked over and he gestured to wind down the window, to which then this guy wound it down. As he wound the window down, this lad reached in, grabbed the fucking money, and he was fucking gone. He had darted. I'm talking seconds now. You're talking seconds. He was into one of those houses. The door slammed behind him. Now, here's my problem. I'm in my Cosworth. I'm not going to just get out and run. So in the few seconds it took me to get out of the car, this other lad to fucking figure out what the fuck's going on, him to close his window, from an old windows in cars made in the 80s weren't exactly fucking swift, him to close his window, me to get out of the car, activate my alarm and get to that door, fucking smashing on the door, hitting it hard. Someone answered it and said, yeah, what can I do for you? I said, this guy's just fucking run through. And they said, yeah, we don't know who he is. They didn't know who he was. This lad had basically gone to that address, knocked on a door, gone in there under some false pretenses. Well, I don't know what that was. Maybe he'd asked if he could fucking use a phone or get some water for a car. I don't know what bullshit he'd given, but they left the door open, and he basically what he'd done is he'd gone in and he ran through the house and straight out the fucking back door. So I'm going to show you now where he went. Camera around. I don't want to sit too long in this area because you get clocked. I've already been clocked once by a woman to come out of the house. Might have been her. She might still be living in the same fucking house. In fact, look at her. I think it fucking was. I'm going to ask her for my money. So basically what he'd done, I'll just literally drive around the back of the house now. I'll turn around so you can see. He'd gone through the house, out the back door, leapt over a fucking fence, and he was gone. He was gone, and he probably ran through this area. Excuse the sounds, I'm just fucking doing a 3-point turn. So there's a house on the left hand side. He came through there, over, possibly over this fence or another fence. He was gone. The guy was fucking gone. Robbed. So Fortunately, he'd only got 7.5 grand only. So now I'm thinking, what the fuck's going on? So immediately I've gotten the lad sat next to me to ring up this fucking guy Ben and ask him what the fuck's going on. Clearly we've been robbed. He goes to ring this lad up, Ben. He answers, he said, I don't know, I'll try and find out. So he's your fucking mate. Tell us what's going on. So we're bouncing communication. I'm thinking to myself, what point do I throw the cat amongst the pigeons? I've got two things. I've got to let down these guys down in Exeter, so their money's just been taken. You know, I've then got to deal with the ramifications and the consequences of that. I've then got to tell my partner in crime to tell everyone that's been eagerly waiting for their fucking gurners that they ain't happening. It's a fucking bullshit lie, and we've just been fucking had. So I'm holding this off for now. I'm thinking I'm not gonna tell them yet. There's no point, because some strange thing in my head is saying, well, maybe something's happened, maybe something's gone on. So we're playing around a little bit and making phone calls, and the lad with me, I'm leaving it. He's now got to fulfil his end of the bargain. It's down to fucking him. Shit rolls downhill. He has to find out what's going on, and I want to know. So down him to contact this fucking muppet Ben and see what the crack is. So after about half an hour's worth of pissing around the phone calls, we get a number from this Ben for the lad that's fucking robbed us. So that's a step in the right direction. And then suddenly this guy Ben's number goes off. So we're now a few hours into the night. We're now looking at it being it's about 10 o'clock. We've been stressing like fuck. So we got this number. We ring up this phone for this guy, and a woman answers, and we say, is this oh fuck, I can tell his name's Dave. Is this Dave's number? Yeah, I'm his girlfriend. Oh, okay, this is encouraging. I said, well, he's just disappeared with 7.5 grand of my money, or someone's money. She said, yeah, he's just been arrested. But what sort of fucking bullshit's that? So she's just said that he's been nicked. So I'm looking at this guy who's with me. I said, suggestions, and she said, yeah, it's okay, we can sort something out. And I'm thinking, all right, okay, this is odd, and now I'm feeling I'm being reeled in slightly, but at this point we've just lost 7.5 grand of someone else's money, so I need to explore other opportunities to try and, again, I've said it before, look at some sort of damage limitation. So these communications go on for a few hours that night, and then her phone goes silent, and we call it a night at that time. Well, let's not tell anyone. It's going to go home and call it a fucking bad day. And then the next day we start looking at how we can recover this debt. What can we do? So the following day, it's now a Sunday, I'm in touch with my guy, the chap that's sorting me out. So we need to get on this. He's informed me that this guy Ben has been reported he's actually left the country, and we're now thinking, has it been some kind of deal? Has he been given a slice of that money to go on holiday? You know, that's what we're looking at. That's the kind of commission he's taking, and was he in on it all the time? So this number we've got, we're ringing it through, and this woman eventually answers and says, yeah, we're getting on it. We can set you a meeting up tonight if you want, with someone, have a chat. I said, all right, okay, that's fine. Where do you want to meet? And the meeting was in Burger King car park. So for this meeting in Burger King car park, this is when Burger King was like unheard of in Bristol. Didn't know about it much. You know. Not that that's fucking relevant. So in order for this meeting to go ahead, we thought we need to have a little bit more force involved in this. So my business partner at the time, he said, well, I'll bring my uncle along. Big old fucking dread, you know, he's a bit of a unit, looks like a nasty piece of work. I think he's done a bit of time as well, and for me that was like, whoa, this guy's fucking serious, you know. So we jumped in my closet with me, this introductory guy that was fucking busy fucking shitting himself, my business partner and his uncle. So in the back was my business partner and his uncle sat in the back of the car, and me and this other lad sat in the front. So we were then looking at heading off to this car park to meet up, and it was quite late at night on a Sunday. I don't know why. I think it was about 9, 10 o'clock. It was late and it was ridiculous. I don't know why I was so late, but it was to try and talk about something, I guess. So off we went. You know, a carload of people. We're actually driving through the area now where my business partner's uncle lived, and this is called Easton in Bristol. Okay, it's another slightly rundown area. Again, it has its inherent problems in the area with drugs and stuff like that, and a fairly high crime rate. But it's a very decent, it's a very well settled community here. One of my best friend and co-defendant lives in that big fuck off block of flats up in front there, actually. Alright mate, how you doing? You know, so the area itself, if you know people in the area, you're fucking sound. If you don't know, you're seen as an outsider. And I was kind of lucky. I walk around my mate, I'm alright. If I'm on my own, I'm not alright. It's one of those, isn't it? So anyway, we're gonna get off to fucking Burger King and have this meeting, and we don't quite know what this meeting's about. I think he's there to give some kind of explanation as to why Dave, the fucking crackhead, has disappeared with the money, and we've been spun this yarn that he's been arrested. So fair enough, the guy's been fucking nicked, but that was fucking quick. What was he stolen with? Was he nicked with running? Oh, I can't get my fucking word. Was he nicked running with $7.5 grand in his fucking back pocket? You know, it's one of those. Fucking dick. Are you anyway? How's everyone doing? Are you? I hope you're still on. I don't know how much I'm going to edit this. I'm just fucking telling the story as it is, as it comes to memory. It's the first time I told this story in the full detail. And what I'm doing is as I'm going through it and recollecting certain events, I'm remembering new stuff. That's why sometimes it might take a sudden shift in direction. You know, I was on my way to somewhere else, and then I forgot that we had this meeting in Burger King first on the day before. You know, so a good thing is I'm actually quite fucking hungry, so I could do with a burger. I'm not going to get one, but who knows? I might get myself a spot of lunch while I'm there. What shall I get? Suggestions, please. And don't forget to subscribe and push the whatever button's meant to fucking push. I'm old and it's new to me. It's new. So just so you geographically place yourself, we are back on this roundabout, which is from the main M32. This is the roundabout where I would have come off and gone into St Werburgh's, and you'll see that shortly. And straight in front of you where that church is, and down over there, that's the area of St Paul's. Just so you got a rough idea. And then of course as we go round, we look down into we'll come off that road and we're looking at going into again down to St Werburgh's. In front to my left, that is St Werburgh's where the guy robbed the fucking money. So we're not going to come off, we're going to head on into an area called Eastville, which is where Burger King is. I'm not going to go back into St Werburgh's. I've already been clocked by people plotted up because I do look like the filth. They probably sat there thinking, oh, the cops, they're all flushing their fucking goods now. Unnecessarily, they've all fucking shat themselves, and the fucking spotters are out saying, oh, the fucking filth are in town, watch out. They're all moving their stash dens now. So that's highly entertaining. I find that very funny. As long as I don't get shot, that'll be alright. Yeah, so gonna keep trucking down here a little bit. It's literally off the next junction, so I'll keep it running. I'll keep waffling shit. While we're on this, if anyone's got any more suggestions for any other content, there's loads I can do. And if you want me to modify things, change it, if you think it's too long-winded, this is the first one. This is a tester, if you like. You know, I'm looking for feedback on this. You know, tell me if it needs sharpening up, if it needs cutting down a little bit. If I'm waffling too much, tell me that. If I'm talking shit, tell me that. If you don't believe me, tell me you don't believe me, and I'll try and find some proof. You know, I want this to work, and this is just the first one. It's a test, and it needs to be an organic process. I need to be able to modify it and make it work for you guys. You know, I don't mind putting the effort in as long as you guys are happy with it. That's what this is about. It's entertainment and it's educational. So we're back off the motorway. There's the flyover in front. We're going to hang a left. So right, picture painted. It's 10 o'clock, Sunday night. I've just been robbed. We don't know who the fuck we're meeting. We know that he calls himself the fucking teacher, and that's it. Teacher of what? Bullshit? Who knows? So Burger King has just come up in front of us now. So I've got my business partner, his uncle, sat in the back behind me, some big fucking unit with dreads, sound as fuck. Got the liaison sat next to me. It's late. There's no one else in this car park, okay? It's 10 o'clock at night. Burger King at that time, back then, 20 odd years ago, it was shut. You know, it was closed. It was different hours, okay? So we pull into this car park here. None of this existed in front. It was just Burger King to the right. Okay, I can't park up where I wanted to because there's a van there, but what I will do is I'll park up over here and shoot. Where you'll see a white transit van, that's where we parked, okay? I'm not saying that he's anything to do with drugs. Might be, you never know. Very clandestine. So, we pulled up in that spot and we sat there. We made the phone call. Hello again. We made the phone call to this guy, the teacher. We had his number by now. The woman had provided his number. So we thought we're kind of getting somewhere on this one. We're still £7.5 down. I've still not told these boys next to it yet that their money's missing. I thought, let's wait until it's definitely confirmed first. We might still get some luck here. So we're stood there, and from my right, where I look across, this guy starts walking across. Not necessarily tall, but dressed in a long, it's like a sort of brown, not like a flasher Mac, like a sort of, it looked like it should have been designer, but it wasn't. And he looked like he was trying to be well dressed, but he wasn't. He had like a pair of trousers on with this jacket and a pair of fucking trainers, which I think were relatively scabby. No disrespect, but they were. And he walks straight up to us, and I get out of the car, and this other lad gets out of the car, and my business partner and his uncle stay in the car. So I'm stood there, I'm looking down, the car's down to my right, and this guy walks up to us, and he puts his hand out, and we shook hands. Well, at least he's not fucking shooting us. That's the result. Then he looks at me, and he looks at the guy in the car and says, "Why'd you bring him?" And my question was, well, why not? You know, why shouldn't I? He's along for the ride. So this guy then starts getting, not threatening, but he's trying to stamp his dominance, if you like. And the fact is that I was along for the ride at that point, and I was going to do the talk. So I said, look, what's happened? Where's he gone? He said, well, he's been arrested. Oh, has he really? He's been nicked. So what happened to our money? Where's our fucking dough? That's been seized by the police. Oh, has it really? So how do you intend to recover this money then? It's your responsibility. Your man had it in his hands at the time. What the fuck are you going to do? He said, I'm going to sort you out some pills. When? He said, well, we'll get them for you for a good deal. I said, no, there is no good deal. You owe us £7.5, so you owe us £7.5 worth of pills. He said, look, let me sort you out some samples and we'll go from there. I thought, right, okay. I don't believe the guy, but let's see where this goes now, because apart from starting breaking out the fucking poppers and shooting people, which is pointless at that stage, you got to go with the ride for now and just see what happens. Bear in mind, I was very naive back then. Very, very naive. So we made the arrangement. He disappeared back into the shadows again. I was looking around. I couldn't see any sign of anything going on. There was nothing ominous or threatening. So we got back in the car and we thought, well, let's see where this goes. So a couple of days pass, and I don't know why, but a Tuesday springs to mind, and I actually get a phone call from this teacher guy saying, yeah, we can meet up. I've got a sample for you to have a look at. I thought, right, okay, no worries. So I give him this guy that was my link to all this fucking mess. Of course, right, this guy's got a sample. Let's go and have a look. And he said, he didn't want to go. He was kind of like, do I have to? I said, mate, you ain't got no fucking choice. You've got to go. You're the one I hold responsible for this mess. You, no one else. You know, and by then I still hadn't told the guys on exit that their money gone missing. I was just hoping on some kind of fucking ridiculous notion that something would a solution would present itself. So we got this phone call, but this teacher said, well, look, we'll meet you by the Marriott in Bristol. There's a couple, so establish which one. I'll meet you outside. I thought, okay, that's fine. Any news on Dave yet with the diamond? He said, no, he's been remanded. Right, okay, so he's still off the scene then, yeah. So, and the money's been seized, has it? Definitely been seized. He said, yeah, it has. Right, okay, no worries. So, I decided to meet this other guy down there. I'm not going to fuck around going in one car. We're just going to, I'll see him down there, we'll park up and get on with it. So we head off down to the Marriott, and again, the guy wants to meet up late at night. He wants to meet at 9 o'clock. I'm fucking not up for that. It's just ridiculous doing these shady, clandestine meetings at silly times at night. Well, there's no need for it. Why not meet in the day? You know, what's the problem with that? You're clearly not fucking working. So, you know, why not meet up at lunchtime and have something to eat and make it a civil arrangement as opposed to a clandestine, dodgy fucking arrangement, which is how it always felt, you know, and that's how some people operate. They prefer to operate that way, especially if they've got somewhere to hide, if they're a bit fucking naughty, and that's how they are. That's again, red flags need to be, you know, raised at every opportunity. The Marriott Bristol is relatively easy to find. Look down, you'll see a couple of tall buildings in the front. One of them is called Castle Mead. It was the tallest building in Bristol. It's no claim to fame. It's not that fucking big. It's nothing compared to other buildings, but it was the tallest building in Bristol. And the Marriott is right next to that, so that's where we're going now. Again, if the journey gets drawn out, I will pause it and stop waffling shite. So the thing with this now is we're still operating on the sense of, one, we're dealing with this incident which has happened. We've been robbed. I say we because me and my partner were in it together. So not only have we been robbed, we're still trying to maintain a business. You know, we're still looking for pills. We're still looking for opportunities. And at this stage, there was still a drought. There was some shit floating around, and we'd had these pills in the past called Batman or Batmans. Simple to see. There was a stamp of the Batlight or whatever it's called on Batman. Is that symbol was on a pill, and they were fucking awful. There was nothing in them. We think maybe a little bit of fucking, definitely no ecstasy in them. It was the fucking made up shit. Maybe a little bit of amphetamine, if anything. Maybe caffeine, I don't know. The truth is they were no good. So there were loads of bollocks pills have been circulating over the past 6 months, and we've pretty much seen all of the pills, and we've pretty much seen they were all shit. Hence the drought, hence us taking unnecessary risks, meeting up with dickheads with fucking diamonds in their hair to do deals. So yeah, so bear that in mind. So I'm heading down towards the Marriott, and it's late on a Tuesday night. It's not fucking ridiculous late, but it's later than I would like it to be. And the aim of hoping that this guy's going to give us a decent tester. And when I say a tester, I would like to know that there's a few there, and they're going to be good. You know, and they're going to work. And then we look at some options of what we can do. You know, first option being is, right, do we get any credit? Get credit? Good, I'll fucking bump you. I won't fucking pay you. Simple as that. You know, are we going to get these for a next deal? Are we going to get these for a really knocked down price, like £1 a pill, where I can recover the money fairly quickly? You could bear in mind, still got $2.5 grand tucked away these guys' money, so we could make some sort of recovery here. You know, I'm kind of thinking there's money there. These guys down in Exeter don't know what's been stolen yet. They don't know it's gone. There's still $2.5 grand there. Maybe there's some way around it. So all is not lost. All is not lost. No. Nearly, but not quite. Okay, so we're coming in now. So the Marriott is just in front. See the crane? It's the building just in front of that. So we met on the main entrance. This guy was very, very adamant on having very public meetings. So that's clearly something that he has to hide. Maybe he's been kidnapped in the past, maybe he's had problems in the past. The fact that he always wanted to meet in these very public places was, again, it should be red flags and alarm bells ringing, but at the time you just kind of, when you get involved in that world, sometimes, and it's a very steep learning curve, and sometimes you have to learn from ridiculous mistakes or learn from other people's mistakes. And because I was stubborn, I'd rather learn from my own mistakes, and that was generally speaking, my undoing. These things happen, and sometimes when it happens, there's no way out. You can't just suddenly decide you don't want to play anymore, or you want to resign and walk away. You don't get that option. You just don't. It's not how that world works. People that get involved in it and get in the shit and decide they want to walk away from it when they're in the shit, i.e. probably owing money, you get hunted down. It would be lovely to think you could. So back to the story. So I turn up 5 minutes early as usual, because I always am. Marriott here on the right, so I'm going to pull into the foyer car park. I'm going to park out there for a little bit. All that's new in front there, so none of that fucking existed. Almost ran that girl over. Doesn't give a fuck about cars. She has no idea that I tend to run people over for fun. And I turned up to the Marriott, and I parked just here. Exactly here is where I parked. And the other guy, he parked on my right hand side. And straight in front of you, you can see me in the reflection where those two bollards are. We had a meeting. So I stood there. The other lad was with me, and his teacher just again appeared from fucking nowhere like a fucking ghost. And he says, "Yeah, how you doing?" We shook hands again. So I said, "Look, what's the crack?" And I got you a sample. So, oh, good, I'm expecting something decent. So I'm looking around for cameras. Yeah, I'm checking out cameras here. Are we good? And as I'm looking out for cameras, if you look down, see where that green banner is? There's like a doorway. Looked down there, and stood in that corner, hiding in that doorway, was Dave with the diamond in his hair. I looked over at him. I thought, there's that cunt over there. And this is where I had a decision to make. I said, what do I do? Now, most people at this stage would pull him and say, there he is. What the fuck's he doing over there? The guys who hadn't noticed him, I saw him. And then I looked at this other guy, and he looked at me looking over there, and as he looked at me, I looked over at the other guy, Dave with the diamond. This Dave with the diamond just fucking shrunk back into the shadows and just sort of disappeared again. The teacher held his hand out. He said, "Here's a sample, have a look." And weirdly, I just took this off of him, and I opened it and looked at it. There's a fucking Batman. I said, "They're no good, mate. They're fucking useless." He said, "Well, take it anyway." So what am I going to do with it? It's fucking shit. It's one pill. I need my money back. And I said, "Is that Dave over there in the corner?" He goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, is that Dave stood over there in the corner? He was there just now." He looked at me, and his fucking attitude changed straight away. And he still had his big long coat on. I thought, is he fucking packing? Is he carrying something? The guy next to me, not going to call him my mate, but my liaison, he was beginning to fucking shake like a shitting dog, because we were thinking this is going to go off any second. And the other guy, the teacher, said, "Look, I'm gonna fuck off now. There's your sample. Let me know what you want to do with it." And he's fucking gone. And Dave with the diamond, who stood over in that corner, he's nowhere to be seen. He's disappeared again. So I get back in my car, and I'm thinking, this is fucking odd. You know, it clearly hasn't been arrested because there's Dave's there. That's what I knew for sure. I've definitely been robbed. I know I've been robbed. I've been had. And I made a judgment call at that point. I'm not going to push it at that stage, because there's no point, because I'm not going to get the money back right there and then. This guy who calls himself the teacher, what's he got underneath that jacket? Is he carrying? Has he got a knife? And I'm kind of relatively confident in my back then, in my abilities from the forces and close protection, that should he pull something, I'm quite happy I could probably take it off him and use it against him. But I wasn't into that. I wasn't into the fucking violent side of it. And I learned a fucking valuable lesson on that one there, because then I knew I'd been robbed. And then my business partner said to me, once I got back to him, said, "Look, this is what's happened." He said, "We need to tell the guys that we've been robbed." And he said, "But tell them they took the whole 10 grand. Just tell them that and give them the details and do it that way." I said, "Why is that?" He said, "Well, because we've got 2.5 grand now, which we can have ourselves, and just they've lost 7.5. Why not tell them we lost it all?" And I thought to myself, that's fucking sneaky, but it makes perfect sense. So we pocketed the other 2.5k with the intention of trying to recover their funds and rebuild their 7.5 grand that they'd lost. I rang the guys and I said, "Look, we've had a problem up here. We've been robbed. come and take my car off me. It's worth that all day long. And they didn't want the car. They said, look, it happens. Do your best. We'll come up and have a chat. They came up a couple of weeks later on. We had a chat. I put the keys in my car in their hand, and they said, no, we don't want your car, mate. So you've told us you think you're being honest. Keep an eye out for it. I think they had more money than they needed. I think they're like me. They didn't want the headaches. It's an unfortunate thing that happens in that world. You get robbed, and it's the first and only time someone's ever robbed me. I learned a lot from those couple of nights. I'm going to knock that on the head for now, and I hope I haven't fucking bored you, because I was getting bored myself. And if you made it to the end, let me know. If I need to change anything, please let me know, because I need to know that if it's coming across too long-winded, I need to know, and I can shorten it down, I can make it snappy, and I can edit it and make it a lot snappier. I just want to run this one out and see how it went. Alright, so those who made it to the end, thank you for listening. Thanks for your time. If you don't know who I am, have a look on my bio. Hit the subscribe button. I'm about getting people away from drugs, not getting them into it, and I'm about talking about facts and the reality of that world. So take care, everyone, and I'll see you again, or you'll see me.